In the first video, we talked about the shift of consciousness, that quiet moment when something inside you stirs and you realize the world is not the same. You are not the same. You can't keep living the way you used to. You can't unfeel what you felt. You can't go back to sleep. That was the beginning. For some, it came softly. For others, like a storm. But either way, something woke up. And what we're about to explore is what happens after. You expected clarity, relief, light pouring in like sunrise after the storm. But instead, it's quiet, uncomfortable, empty. Your old life begins to dissolve, but your new one hasn't arrived. And in the middle of that unraveling, you feel lost. People no longer feel familiar. Conversations drain you. You try to explain, but the words don't land. And part of you wonders if maybe you're going backwards. But you're not. This is the in-between, the sacred pause, the space between identities, where the nervous system shakes, where the ego claws for comfort, where the soul whispers, keep going. You're not broken. You're not falling apart. You're remembering. You're waking up in a world that no longer fits. And while it might feel like you've lost everything, what's actually happening is that the false is falling away. And what remains is real. The signs begin, and in the space that opens, something begins to stir. You start to notice things. You see the same number again and again. A song lyric answers your question. A stranger says the very thing you were just thinking. We were taught to call it coincidence. But it's not. These are messages, echoes, coordinates from your spirit team. This is how the universe speaks. Not in words, but in perfectly timed patterns. Nothing is random. Everything is a synchronized orchestration. And the moment you stop dismissing the signs, they multiply. Because you're not imagining it. You're remembering how to listen. So what now? You're waking up. Not because something's wrong, but because something sacred is remembering itself through you. You're not here to escape this world. You're here to bring light into it. You don't need to do more. You need to become aware of what you're already doing. Every choice you make becomes part of your signal. Your thoughts, your actions, your energy. You're always broadcasting. The question is, what are you tuned to? This is why so many light workers feel called to change their diet, limit distractions, spend more time in nature, meditate, journal, breathe, listen. These aren't trends. They're transmissions. When you follow them, you begin to hear, because each of these opens a different frequency band, a portal to your guides, your higher self, your remembering. You're becoming the vessel for something ancient, and that is what brings the shift. There comes a moment on this path when seeking turns into being. You've read the books, watched the videos, listened to the podcasts. You've gathered tools, followed teachers, maybe even joined communities, and it all had its place. But now, the real invitation is to pause the noise and turn inward. It's not about finding the next guru or signing up for another course. It's about remembering that every answer you've ever searched for is already inside you. Instead of reaching outward, go within. Sit in silence. Feel your breath. Let your body speak to you. Witness your thoughts without judgment. Notice your emotions without escaping them. Your energy speaks louder than your words. Your choices ripple across timelines. The way you walk, breathe, create, it broadcasts your frequency. And your spirit team? They're not just whispering from afar. They're co-creating with you through every nudge, every idea, every aligned moment. This is how you tune in. This is how you remember. Your presence becomes the practice. Your awareness becomes the gateway. And your life becomes the teaching. because you don't need external validation to access divine intelligence. You are already connected. You are already the channel. You are the key. No more searching. Just being. Just remembering. A living signal of the new earth. We've been taught that spiritual communication is rare, reserved for special people or sacred moments. But what if all of us have direct access to spiritual realms? What if all of us have special gifts that allow us to communicate with the unseen? The universe doesn't speak in paragraphs. It speaks in nudges, pulls, goosebumps, and whispers in your own voice. A sudden idea, a wave of emotion, a song that plays at the exact right moment. Your spirit team is not distant. They're woven into your now. They don't just drop in when you light a candle. They're with you when you're driving, doing the dishes, scrolling your phone. You don't need to open a portal. You are the portal. And the clearer your field, the more present you become, the louder the conversation gets. You begin to notice the subtleties. That tightness in your chest when something's not aligned. That deep exhale of relief when you choose what's true. You stop asking for signs and start recognizing that you're surrounded by them. You begin to live with your team instead of trying to reach them. This is how the mystical becomes normal. Because it always was. You're not awakening to something new. You're remembering how it's always worked. You're not making this up. You're not alone. You're remembering. And as you remember, you begin to feel them. Others like you. Quiet souls who see through the noise, who feel the stirrings, who came here for something more. Some call them light workers, bringers of frequency, bridges between worlds. In the next part of this journey, we'll explore who they are and why you might be one of them. If this message stirred something in you, it's not by chance. You're beginning to remember. You were never meant to walk this path alone. So I invite you to like, subscribe, and share your journey in the comments. Like the butterfly, you were never meant to stay in the cocoon. Transformation is your nature. Flight is your birthright. And this is only the beginning.